Y'all, and welcome to Watch Cheryl Scrap with Project Mouse. And today I have with me not only my normal cohort in crime, Courtney, but I also have Krista Sahlin. Ha, got it right that time. Is that right?
Did. Hi, everybody. Yep, you did. Hi, everybody.
And also Britt of Britt-ish Designs. And Britt's going to be scrapping with me today.
Hi, I'm so excited.
So, um, if you're new and you haven't joined in the scrap sessions before, essentially what you'll see us doing is we're just scrapping as we normally would if we were in, our homes. So just pretend like you're here with us looking over our shoulder. So any kind of chatter, we'd love to talk about Disney today. So um, if you have, anything comes up when you see our pictures that we're scrapping, if you want to talk about your first trip, whatever, we're going to just kind of have general discussion. There'll be a lot of questions and answers in the chat later on in the regular chat room with Krista and Britt, but do feel free to ask them questions now as well, and Courtney will be doing our moderating. So here we go. I'm going to stop sharing that and share my regular screen.
I was going to say, we lost Britt because she switched over to the chat room.
I know. Unless I'm over on the chat room. So you might see me kind of pop back and forth if I want to peek at what Cheryl's doing, or because I just have the one. So if I can't really see what she's
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm leaving it open a little bit over on this side here, but so I can kind of see, but mostly I can't see anything.
Yeah, you totally need dual screens. Once you go dual screens, you'll never go back.
I had dual
Yes.
screens, then I got this humongous iMac, and it's so huge that I haven't actually missed my dual screens at all, which surprises me because I was hooked on them. But now I'm just on the one.
But right now you miss it, right?
Well, yeah, for this, this is the first time I've like really, really needed it. I thought it was my old one.
Okay, so today I'm scrapping with the Dumbo ride at Walt Disney World in 2012. And Britt, what are you scrapping today?
I am scrapping teacup pictures from the trip we just barely got back from. Just this in February. So
Disney World or Disneyland?
Oh, Disneyland.
Just for clarification.
Aww. Scarlett is so pretty.
Thanks. I was. This is just Josh took it. I was feeding the baby on this, just kind of watching them on the teacups with my parents, and Josh took this. It was just one of those happy accidents where he got the sun right in the back, and it looked so pretty. And he came off the ride, and I was looking through his photos, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so pretty!" And it was just one of those lucky shots. So I usually start with a template, just if people are wondering, a basic template, and then I alter it as I go as to what I need. I can't start with a blank canvas like Cheryl can. I start with my pockets open, just like the basic pockets, and then I alter my pockets as I need, like if I don't have the right size photos or whatever.
And this is really neat just to watch you both do different styles of scrapbooking. Like you said, you work with a template and doing pocket style, and Cheryl doing kind of off the cup and more digital scrapbook style. So glad you both are doing this together.
I know, watching Britt, because we scrapped together one other time, and I just really found it fascinating how she used the template. She didn't feel like, okay, I have to have certain things. She was able to manipulate the sizes of her photos and even put smaller photos and papers. Well, you'll see when she gets to the end. It's just so pretty. I'm like, how does she do that?
Do you use shortcuts as you go in Photoshop Elements? Or Photoshop, I mean, sorry. You're both in Photoshop CC, we should say that.
I do. You want to talk first, Britt, and tell what shortcuts you like to use the best?
I set up a custom shortcut for brightness and contrast because I do that to like every photo I scrap. So, like right now, I'm gonna put this photo in of my dad and size it down, and then I'll do too small. I'll do brightness and contrast on it. So I have like let's see, what is it? I just have to look at my keyboard because it's such habit now. Shift Command A is my custom brightness and contrast keyboard shortcut. And those are really easy to set up. You can set those up really
Looks
easily.
like Tina loves the copy shadow shortcut too.
I think, yes. I like to use the clipping. I changed my clipping action or shortcut, sorry, so that I can, do Control G like I was used to in PSE. That's probably the one I use the most. Yeah,
Britt,
I had to alter it.
Can you turn the volume on your microphone up just a tiny bit more? They're having a little trouble hearing you. Is that possible?
Is that any better? Here, I'll move
Is that
it closer.
better?
I'll move it closer to my mouth too. How about that? Is that better? Hello? Can
I'm waiting for responses. Not really.
Oh, well, I don't know what to do about that. I can't really, let's see.
Yes, a little.
Britt, I think you can adjust it on the Adobe Connect area. At least on mine, it shows and adjusts the level.
Is it louder now?
You're louder for me.
Hello?
Let me see.
Can you hear me?
You just need to shout. I'm just kidding.
Shout, shout, let it all out.
I can keep going.
These are the things can do without.
Cheryl just turned her volume up a little bit instead. Disney Cheryl, that worked better.
Okay. These are not doing what I want them to do.
Not any better?
I'm waiting. Multiple people are
I
typing.
think you sound nice and loud now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Cheryl, how do you know where you're going with your photo placement?
I don't, clearly, because look at me. I'm moving them all over the place. Sometimes it just, it was just a, sometimes it just clicks and I know where I want them to go. Last night went really quickly, and then right now, I don't know. I think it's this red over here that's throwing me off. The little top of the Dumbo ride, Believe and Soar. And so I've got, some balance there, I think. And then I wanted this photo to be a bigger one too because it's got the kids and my husband in it. So I think what I'm going to do is just make it bigger because I don't need to see all that stuff back there and just have these maybe like this. That up a little bit more.
Now that you mentioned keyboard shortcuts, I'm realizing how often I actually use them. It's all the time. I don't think about it, so.
I like keyboard shortcuts.
Okay, I think I have it now. How does that look? That's a little too tilted, I think. Okay, come back down. Okay,
I
that's
think it looks
better.
great. You have good balance of color, and I love those nighttime photos and the colors from the rides.
So pretty, Cheryl. I'm peeking over at your page now. So pretty.
Yeah,
Color.
I was looking at your little girl. She's so cute. Look at her. That little face. And look at her hair.
Yep,
So
that's the chat
pretty.
room comment too, is how cute she is and the cute little scrunched up nose.
That's her little smile these days, is this little scrunchy face. You say smile, and she does this little, like, scrunchy.
It's so cute though. Donna loves the new Project Mouse collection.
Good.
Thank you, Donna. I'm glad.
We love it.
Is there one you don't love though?
No. Krista and I joke every
Every time we finish, we're like, this is our favorite.
It's our favorite one. Every time. This is my new favorite.
Although we're really crushing on that pin set, so
Yes.
that ultimately kind of tops the cake right now.
It is pretty awesome, I have to say.
Do you have a favorite card since you asked for that for bingo?
That's a hard question. It's like choosing your child or something.
It's been so fun just reading through all your comments in that one, because I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good one. And then I'd read the next comment, I'm like, oh, that one is so good too. So this set, I would say, of my cards, I like The Dream is a Wish, Your Heart Makes. That was one of my favorite that I did. Britt, what was your favorite from this?
From this kit?
Yeah.
I really love my
We do.
Boca ones that I did. Those are really fun.
Yeah, those were my favorite of yours by far. I
know
would
they are.
use them over and
We
over.
talked about those a lot.
Yeah.
Gosh, I probably those ones. Those were really fun to do. And then of Krista's, I really love I told her I love this magical agenda. This one. I love that card.
Yeah.
So cute. But yeah, I've told you before, I love your word art ones on these. Like, The Dream is a Wish is so pretty. And I really love the When You Wish Upon a Star as well.
And my checklist favorite of yours was that brown one you did with lots of fill-in space this time. Let's see. I can't. I'm looking through your screen. Yeah, that one with the numbers for them to fill out. We try to incorporate like interactive ones like that, and I saw that and just lost it. It was so awesome.
I love a good fill-in card. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like the I Give It card with the star rating.
Yeah, that one was good too.
It's, if you have a non-magical moment, it's perfect for documenting it.
Yep.
The lines were a 1-star today.
Right.
The heat was a 1-star today.
The children were a 1-star today.
We have had those days. Oh, goodness. We had a really hard trip to Charlotte. About 3 years ago, we were like, who is this child? And we would like our normal daughter back because this is insane.
Aw, that's so hard.
It was like when she was just learning to be scared of things. Like, it was kind of that age of awareness where things are starting to make her nervous, and she just would throw all these fits about every single thing. Oh, we were going crazy. It was not our best trip. It got better after a couple days, and after we forced her to take a nap in the stroller, then she felt a little better. But okay, I think I got all my photos.
Yeah, naps always help. You notice a difference when they don't take that.
She's our
Kat mentioned the Walt quotes are always great too. His quotes are always so inspirational. You added that one right at the end, Britt, when we were completely finished, and you were like, well, I guess you could tell the story, but Britt was like, I forgot one. I forgot it. I got to add it in.
Yep, because I
And-
wanted for my page that I was scrapping. I was making
Yeah.
because we use both Krista and I usually have I don't know, I think Krista normally does too. We have a page open that we kind of like create scrap as we make the kit, just to like help us think about what we might want or what we might need for the, what would make the kit better. And I had my page open that I was working on, and I was like, I want that quote for this page, so I gotta hurry make one more card. But yeah, it turned out to be one of my favorite ones. So.
Well, and ultimately that was kind of the theme of the whole kit too, like just that we were going back to kind of old school vintage Disney, Walt, Disneyland. It just fit perfectly.
Now, is that the parents and children one, or is that the curiosity one? Because those are both Walt quotes.
Oh yeah, it was the parents and children one.
Okay. I like them both.
I kind of forgot about the curiosity one, but this one, that was one of the first ones I did, actually. I started with the Walt quote, and then I ended with the Walt quote.
And Kat would like a live learn how to scrap efficiently class, because you are both so efficient when you're scrapping.
Not really. I mean, I'm
okay.
Now for while you're watching. I'm not sure I'm always very efficient. Look, she's already way ahead of me. I only have photos in. Goodness. Efficient.
Well,
I don't feel very efficient, so that's hard for me to answer.
Britt, are you on a Mac? Yes, right?
Yeah.
You said you were on that big, huge screen?
Yep.
And Cheryl is on a PC, Kath. It's fun to see how identical the program is, though, even though you're on two different machines.
Yep.
Oh, I like that quote. Who you're riding with.
yeah, isn't that sweet?
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that was a good quote.
I'm going to switch these two. It'd be cuter with the card in between. Ah! That's not what I meant to do.
I love the diversity. Cheryl's got a 2-page going on. You've got a 1. You've got a pocket. She's got a freeform. She's got night photos. You've got day photos. You could not be like more opposite today.
Yeah, but yet they both blend so beautifully. Like all the colors are meant to be together.
They totally do. You're both using the same kit, right?
Yep.
We decided to both use the same one to show how different they're both going to look in the end, but that we're both using the same thing. Okay. Let's see.
Both in Fantasyland. That's true, Tracy.
Yep.
But one's Walt Disney World and one's Walt Disneyland. I mean, it's even that different.
Oh, crazy. Oh,
Who has a Disney trip coming up soon? I know Tracy's daughter is currently down at Walt Disney World.
we just got back, so we don't have one coming up probably till next year. We just barely got back about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
I wanted to go this year, but my husband wants to wait for his Star Wars land.
Yeah, but that's not until 2019. That's too long.
I know, that's what I said. Now he's waiting for the Tower of Terror to, well, whatever they're calling it, to be opened again.
Well, that's just this summer.
I know. So that's closer.
And that's at Disney. Is that Disneyland?
It's Disneyland. I'm in Las Vegas,
California.
so Disneyland is closer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a California adventure. That'll be fun.
Yeah, my kids were just talking about that today. When can we go to Disneyland? We want to go back to Disneyland. I'm like, so do I. Go talk to your dad.
Go talk to your dad. Tell him. Let's see. Kat doesn't have one planned for this year. Tower of Terror is gutted. It is. I have a sad story about that. We actually scared my brother so bad riding it, he still won't ride on elevators. And it's 8 years later.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
He was 4. He thought it looked fun. He had fun on the ride, but he won't ride elevators anymore.
Oh
I feel kind of bad.
my goodness. I think you need
Ooh,
to go back and redo it, and then
Poor
maybe
thing.
it'll bring his confidence back up.
bring his confidence back. He won't even
I
ride the
can do this.
library elevator, and it's one story.
What? You damaged this person.
Well, at least it's my
How
brother and not my child, right?
how old was he?
He was 4.
Oh my goodness.
Or was he 5? No, he was 4.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Disney Cheryl's going in June and December. I saw somebody said they go every single month. Kathleen's headed for Dapper Days.
Oh, I want to go
Birthday
to
trip in July.
someday. I'll get to go for Dapper Days. That's my dream.
Now, Cheryl, I know for this session the only thing you pre-planned was which photos you wanted to scrap. Did you pre-plan anything, Britt?
Just
Correct.
the photos.
Somebody asked what pre-planning went into this.
How much cheating did you do? No, I just picked photos.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I uploaded a video because I want to put
That's what I picked as well.
I want to put a QR code on my page, and so I got my video ready and uploaded it beforehand.
So,
otherwise, I would be doing that live, and that's not super fun to watch. So,
tell us how you do that, Britt. What's your process for that? For adding the QR codes in the videos? Where do you put them and stuff?
okay, so right now I'm just putting them into YouTube. Like I take the photo take the video, out of iPhoto, and I upload it to YouTube. And then in a little bit, you'll see I go to YouTube and take the QR code out of there. I've been thinking about switching them to Dropbox instead of YouTube, just because then I don't know, it just seems more like they're mine. Like I'm putting them in a place that's mine instead of public. I don't list my photos, I keep them unlisted, which means you can still view them, but you can't search for them. Like they don't come up in searches.
You can only view them with the link.
Right. Just because I don't really need people searching for my random home videos, you know. But yeah, that's how
Yes.
you'll see my process of how I put them on in a little bit when I get there. I'm going slow. I feel myself going slow, guys. I'm sorry. I can feel it.
It's because we keep asking you questions.
It is.
And do you already have the QR code generated, or will you do that as you're scrapping?
I'll do that as a scrap.
Oh, I love that Dumbo, Cheryl. That alpha is so perfect.
That alpha is the free one that Krista has on her blog.
Yeah, it's fun to see it in use.
Did you hear that, everybody? Free on the blog.
Free.
Free, free, free.
Go get it. Britt, Monica asked, what template are you using? Is this one you made yourself, or did you? So I'd always start with just basic pockets, which this one is one that I made, but then I think it's in my My Year in Pockets Basics kit of templates. I'll look it up. So yeah, that's where it's at. But then I've modified it already. Like you'll see that I started right here with a 4x6. So I don't love to journal on a 4x6. With this page, I don't know that I'm gonna have enough to stay for a 4x6. So I switched it already to just be 2 3x4s right there instead. If I want to go back to a 4x6, like if I end up having more journaling than I think I'm gonna have, then maybe I'll switch it back and choose a 4x6 card. But for right now, I think I just posted a link. Awesome. But mostly I'll always just start with a basic template like this and alter it as I go when I'm doing pocket scrapping. I do a few different styles of pocket scrapping. This is more just very clean. Like I don't even have shadows really on any of my pockets. It's very, very, very clean. But I've done other ones where they're messier, or where the pocket, all the pockets kind of overlap, or there's like more brush stroking and more, not art journaling, but more that style of like messy, blended, kind of, but still all over the page, which I think is kind of pocket style. But this is my very clean style that I do mostly. I do that most of the time. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I find, well, personally in my family, I mean, the kids over time and they've looked at my books, they just love the photos. So I've just
Yep.
over time added more and more photos and for my family they like the clean style, so I've kind of kept it more clean
Me too.
as
The
well.
more, the more, and that came from printing and enjoying them and realizing what I want in the long run. Like if all my pages just always lived on my computer, I wouldn't have figured that out. But
That is so true.
as I printed and brought my books into my home and actually gave them to my family to look at, I realized what I really liked, and that is more clean and photo focused. But the artistry of doing a page with just like one photo with all the beautiful things on it, that's super fun to make. But as far as like documenting and having them for my kids to look at, it's more, this is the style I've come to like. But how could you not look at Cheryl's page and be like in love with it? I mean, it's so beautiful.
Right. Well, I love the large photos and
Yeah.
I mean, your eye is drawn there. And then sometimes it's about being artistic and, just having that creative time too and being creative.
I'm really going
Okay,
way
somebody asked Britt what computer software you use, and you're on Photoshop CC, correct?
Yes, I'm on Photoshop CC, and then I use Bridge. Like when I'm going back and forth, I'm switching between Bridge and Photoshop CC. I was on CS3 for a long time, and then when I got my new computer, I was forced to switch to CC. So it was kind of an adjustment for me to have to switch. Krista knows
that one.
I'm really not at all the time.
Well, it's hard to go to a new program, especially when you're used to. I was on CS2 forever, and then it was it was hard to make the switch to CS5, and then CC was no different. So that wasn't.
Because you get just comfortable and in the groove, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, how do I do anything?
Kath wants you to come sell hair. Let's see. Kim prints pockets and does traditional digi scrap for fun. So does that mean that just lives on your computer, Kim, when you just do the traditional one? There's a lot of pocket scrappers in our chat today.
I'm so glad Britt's here. I'll be like, ugh.
I just love watching you both because they're just so different, and it's still the same hobby that we all love, and it's just
Do it
awesome.
so many different ways.
Yeah. Well, and normally my process is similar to Britt, but I go the step further and I actually print it, and I do paper pockets. So I will print off the pockets and then stick them in my book afterwards. So my process is I'll do it digitally and then print them off.
So you do kind of both. You do like it's like double. You do double.
Kind of double the work a little bit, but then it's printed and in my book right away. Like I don't have to wait.
Why did you decide to do that? Just what made you decide to do it?
I
not because you were digital forever. I mean, only digital forever.
I think because I wanted to have the real things back in my books again. You know, there's something nice about sticking. I mean, although in any type of book you can still insert pages. I guess if you got a 3-ring binder, you can still insert things. But yeah,
so
I
are
just
you
wanted
designing?
to keep some of them.
Sorry, are you designing every single pocket and then printing each one out, or are you like just printing out your photos and some cards and then sticking it in the pockets?
So I design, probably I would stop at Britt's point right now. So I would just figure out which pictures I'm using, choose the cards that I'm using. You know, if I have type on it, I will do type on the card, and then I'll just pull each picture and then print them on 4x6 on my printer. And then I'll, add things afterwards, whether it's little bits or if I leave it clean. Sometimes I'll leave it clean, but.
Cool. Let's see.
So many ways of using it.
Yep. Dumbo Deb says she mostly app scraps. Do either of you app scrap, or any of you, I should say? There's 3 of you.
I just started this year, actually, and I love it. But I haven't done any Disney books for it yet, just my 2017 book. So yeah, I find that I'm having less and less time, I think, just to document like most people, and I gave it a try. Britt, you've been doing it this year too, haven't you?
Yep, I just started this year. I never did it before. I just started the Project Life app this year just to do my weekly pages because I realized with my new baby and everything else going on, I just wasn't getting it done. My pages weren't getting done. So
exactly. I don't even have a new baby, and mine wasn't. I found I was like behind 2 years, and I'm like, what is happening?
Right,
I couldn't
exactly.
keep up.
Me neither. And it's just hard to sit at the computer and find that time. So I've decided it's hard for me to give up the control and the creativity of doing it on the computer because it's much more limited. I mean, it's not too limited. It's pretty amazing what it can do. But I just decided that done is better than perfect. My friend Paige always says that, and I love it, and it's true. So I just get it done and make it as cute as I can, and then I actually make, this is going to show how a little kooky I am, but I actually keep a little list of little tweaks I want to do in Photoshop after I export the page so that I can go back and just like zip through a few little tweaks on the computer. So I guess it's app scrapping, but I also tweak it a little bit in Photoshop, but just a tiny bit.
So cute.
That's really cool that you go back and tweak it just a little bit.
Sometimes I want to use like the journal cards from Project Mouse or from a card, because you can take all of our Project Mouse or any cards that you have and put them into the Project Life app through adding it as like a photo. So when I do that, like if I was going to put this card in, I can't journal on it in the app because it thinks it's a photo.
Right.
So then I'll make a little note like on this page, go in and add that journaling, or on that page, go in and put the overlay on that or whatever. So.
And the QR code too. It's easier to add the QR code after.
You can do it on that. It's complicated. It's easier just to do it after, for sure.
Okay, Jeanette asked if I ever use traditional elements on my pictures or digital pages. So yeah, I'll use digital like word art because that's why I love creating word art. Britt does some great word art, and I love adding it to my pictures. So I'll add those digitally before I print them, and I'll add my text onto my journaling cards before I print them as well, because I hate my handwriting. It works a lot easier that way. And as to physical embellishments, I will print some of our Project Mouse embellishments and just add those like a sticker, like like a physical things. But other than that, I don't use any outside extra embellishments.
What do you print them on to add them to like the embellishments? Do you just use regular paper? Do you have a special paper you like?
I use, I have it all listed on my blog if people want to know more about printing, because paper does make a difference. I've tried, regular paper, regular cardstock paper, and they turned out terrible, like terrible, terrible. And I'm like, is this what my designs look like printed? And then, but the paper made the difference. So I have on my blog what paper I use. But as long as it's like presentation paper or photo paper, like a matte photo paper or glossy photo paper, I mean, they all work beautifully. So
I knew that was coming, Tara.
What?
She was going to ask what paper is best to print the cards and stuff. It tends to be a comment that comes up whenever we talk about printing. It's kind of like, which program are you using? We like to give all the information.
I just looked. If I put them on like an 8.5 by 11, like if I'm printing a lot and I just do like a bigger sheet, then I use the Epson Ultra Premium Presentation Paper Matte. And that's what I use when it's bigger. If it is a smaller one, then I just use the Canon Pixma Matte Photo Paper. And that's a 4 by 6. Like if I'm just printing one card off, that's what I'll use.
Kat didn't know about the Project Life app. She just bought it. And
enabling was
So cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Janine wanted to know if, well, she asked Deb if she's using Dropbox to bring in cards to the app.
Yes, I do. Yep. That is
Yep,
what
I
I do.
use Dropbox as well to bring it in.
I'll just dump my folder of cards or whatever into Dropbox and then add them as photos.
And is it
Okay.
your printing options for Project Mouse where you talk about the paper, Krista?
Yep. Yep. That's for when I print. Yeah, when I print and stick them in individual pockets, then that's the paper I use. Is that what you were asking, Courtney, or?
Yes. Well, I was pulling up the blog
Oh,
post because there was a couple people who asked about it. So I was trying to pull it up and make
okay.
sure that was the
Sorry
right one.
about that. Let me check it. Hang on. I have 2 of them, and
This one has the Epson Ultra Premium Presentation Paper Matte 8.5 by 11, and then the HB Premium Photo Paper listed. And those are the 2
yes.
you mentioned,
Yep.
correct? Okay.
Yep. Those are the 2.
And
And
then
I'm
we
gonna
also
look
have
up one more.
Is it the how to print one?
Yeah, that could be. I think that goes more in detail about. It goes more in detail about printing on your home printer, so making your own print sheets, because we'll include them in the packs for printing on your printer, but not everybody wants to print, all the pages of all of the cards. They just want to choose just a few. And so I gave some instructions. Let me try to look for it.
I have that one too on there. How to print digital Project Life or Project Mouse cards.
You're so ahead of me. Thank you.
I'm a Google master some days. Today happens to be one of them.
Yeah, Courtney's quick.
And Jalen says she
She's
likes to
quick.
print the PM for autograph pages. That would be really
Yeah,
cute.
that's a great idea.
And there's so many options with all the different kits. You could have one for every single character.
Yeah, I started doing that for our autograph pages. We make like a specific one for each of the characters, like that we can possibly meet. We'll probably meet this person, so we make sure we have a card for them. And it's fun because it gets a good reaction from the character. It gives you a little extra time talking with them. It's good.
We met the Mad Hatter, and this is funny because it has to do with Project Mouse. And I was looking for the card that, a good card that he could sign to use it. And, has anybody met the Mad Hatter? I mean, he just gets really silly and goofy. And so he just had to see all the cards and he'd go through, oh, this is for Mary Poppins and this is for Minnie Mouse. And he just like went through the cards and had a fun time. So it was a pretty funny story.
We had made one once, and the Mad Hatter said he wasn't signing his page. He was going to sign Alice's page and make her sign his page. So he was quite the character.
That's funny.
I love that he lives through every single one, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh, where's my page? And I didn't have a specific page for him, so I had to give him like a generic, kind of one. And he's like, I don't get a card.
What? Generic?
Yeah.
Let's see. Jalen keeps them either loose or she uses a small clipboard, or she puts them in a 4x6 photo album, like the ones you get at the dollar store.
When you take them to the park, is that what you're talking about?
I think so, when she takes them to the park. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What I do is I have like this little template that I made where it adds a little like half an inch, I think, to the side, and then I punch holes in the half an inch that I printed. So I print them like 3 on a page, and they all have an extra little margin on the left. And I punch my holes in that side and put them on these just big rings. And then after I'm done, I can just cut that extra side. If I want to put them in an album, 4x6 album, then I can cut that off, but I don't have the big holes punched into my autograph card. Does that make sense?
Well,
That is really smart.
And it keeps them together.
Yeah. But right now, the girls just like looking at them how they are. My kind of vision was to have them in a 4x6 album next to the photo of when they met that character, so there's the autograph next to the picture, but that hasn't happened yet because, you know,
I
that's
have
my
that
goal.
vision too, and currently I
Right.
think I just have the autographs in the 4x6 and a bunch of blank pages.
Yeah, mine are still fitting all, you know, I just keep putting them on to bigger and bigger rings once they're done, because then we don't take them back on our next trip. So I take all the ones that we got signed, and I put them on a bigger ring, so that, but my girls look through that all the time, so they are happy just to look through the autographs. But I'm sure they'd be even happier if I took the time to put them in a book like I
So
want.
they could be like, oh, remember when we met?
Right.
Aw.
But right now, because they can't really read, it's hard. I noticed that it was hard for them to tell who was. They would keep asking me, who signed this one, who signed that one. So now I do little cards with like the character's picture on them that I got like, by Googling.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. Everybody's making plans now for their next trip. They're going to have to make up these little cards, and they're going to have to do this.
Well, we do have a set of autograph cards too that obviously they don't have the characters on them. They can be used in many different ways, but that's a great start.
I played with those. Like that was the first time I did an autograph book. That's what I used was those. And it's just sort of because we go every year. It's just I've kind of spiraled it up from there. So
It's gotten bigger since then.
yeah.
More and more.
More and more and more.
Okay. I think I'm ready to do my QR code now. So if anybody's wondering what I'm about to do.
Cheryl, you want to make her screen bigger while she does the QR code?
Sure.
Just so people can see in detail.
So I have a whole tutorial about this on my blog. I started doing it a long time ago when I first started pocket scrapping because I wanted to be able to put my videos into my pages. So
Did that go full screen for everybody?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll just have to make her bigger here.
That's all right.
How's that?
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's not that exciting to watch. So I use this. Pardon?
I was just going to say I added the blog post link at the bottom too for people to reference.
Gotcha.
You are a speed Googler.
Yes.
What? I'm going to figure out what color I want my QR code to be by taking a color from my page. Because you can make your QR code whatever color you want. You just have to be careful that you don't go too light because it needs the contrast. So that's it. That's all I do. Now I go and I just drag it into Photoshop. Done. Not super complicated. I have found that when you print, your QR codes end up being way huge if you're not careful. So I shrink mine down a little bit because when they're really big, they're not super pretty and they're just bigger than they need to be. So.
Interesting.
They're a little distracting when they're super big too.
Yeah, they just don't need to be that big. They're not like the cutest thing. So like, why have not the cutest thing be big? They just don't need it to be that big. It's like I figured it out once as I was printing like what size to actually make them, but now I don't remember the actual measurement, so I just shrink them down.
Have you ever shrunk them too far, or?
No, they always worked for me.
Sweet.
Just be conscious of how big they are. They're just this is something I learned when I first started scrapbooking, way back in the day. Is printing teaches you so much because like I used to put the hugest staples on my page, and then I would go back and like print it and be like, hello, 2-inch long staple? That's not realistic. Like, who has a 2-inch long staple? That's not real. That's not reality. So you just have to consciously think. That's one thing you learn when you first start is to think about how big is that really going to be when I print that? Like, that flower is going to be 3 inches big. Is that how big I really want it to be?
Right.
Because on your screen, it doesn't seem so big. But when you print, you really learn and figure it all out.
It's the same with text too. How big does that text actually need to be? Unless it's
Yep.
going to grandma's house.
And like your font and everything when you journal, is that humongous
Yes.
or too small? I can't read it. That's another thing. So I don't know if I'm gonna try and like figure out how to journal while I'm trying to do this in front of everybody. I might just make a spot for it and write my thoughts later. We'll see.
Perfectly acceptable. Journaling on demand with everybody watching is kind of uncomfortable.
A little bit. But that is one thing, like I found this font that I love that I journal with all the time, and I figured out by printing, just printing on my home computer, just printing how and knowing what font size is too small and what is too big, what I don't like, and spacing and all that.
And when you did that, did you worry about the papers and everything, or you just did it like on a blank piece of regular paper?
No, I just did it on copy paper because I was just trying to figure out sizes. Like, is this, and I figured out that this particular font, which is one of the P fonts, it's P Kristen. I figured I just wanted to know if I print it, because I'm going to use it a lot. So if I use it at a size 12 or a size 11, it's about just right. If I have to go down to a 10 to make it fit, then that's okay. It's a little small, but any smaller than that, you don't want to go too small, any smaller than that. And I never want to go bigger than a 12 because I just don't like the look of it. So I just did that by doing a test sheet of, printing it out at home.
And do you have any other watch this video elements? Jalen has your free one from a while ago, but she said you just use something different.
Just right here, right now?
I assume that's what she's talking about.
So this is just one of the cards from Krista's, half of the cards. It's this card right here. And you can journal on that, but I also thought that it would be cute for a QR code. So
oh,
since
that's
it's just
adorable for a QR code.
So since it's just a white background, I just made my box behind it white and shrunk it down so that it could be a little QR code instead of a card.
That was a great way to use it, yeah. And there are some in some of the collections. I can't think of them right now. Like I think the At Night collection has some. Sometimes we do try to put those into the kits. I think the Classics collection has one.
Like cards
or cards or element bits. Sometimes they're in the element pack, but there are every once in a while we'll try to get those in there.
Yeah, we don't have like a dedicated set of them or anything. I've got a few in my other kits too. Krista probably does as well. Just kind of randomly they come up as I don't see one in here. But
I think it's in the card kit for that set that you're looking at. Maybe it's in the element. I can't remember anymore.
Yes, Kath. Your phone will read QR codes, and then it will go straight to the video.
Yeah, right there. There it is. That's a really cute one.
That is a cute one.
Super cute.
That's adorable. Poor Britt, we're spending as much time in her supplies as we are watching her scrap.
I know, that's all right. I don't mind. Go back, where was I? I think I'm getting close here. My journaling always takes me a little while to really think it out, and I actually
I really didn't have much to say on this one as far as, they rode the ride.
Pretty pictures.
We wrote it. It was fun.
We wrote it. It was fun.
We waited in line forever. Oh, wait.
No, waiting in line forever because we went in after hours for resort guests can do that at some times of the year. And so actually this was like 1 o'clock in the morning and there was hardly anybody there. But it was a perfect time to go because it's so daggum hot. This was in July. We decided to just go for 4th of July.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, that would be very hot.
Yep. So it was nice. There was only one day that we went. Go ahead.
I was going to say that, and the pictures that you got are amazing too. It almost looks like you had the whole ride to yourself.
We did. There was nobody else on the ride. It was amazing. And also the Barnstormer that's over there. Essentially, well, I didn't ride it, but the kids and Jay did. And basically, they'd get off of it and then just do a UE and go right back on it again and rode it over and over again. There were quite a few people on the carousel, but nobody was really over here much.
Yeah, those extra magic hours always
Giovanna,
are
I need
so
to
nice.
And then, Britt, do you normally keep your background white on your pocket pages?
I do. I was just actually thinking about that. I do keep them white. It's just my personal preference, but I was looking through that really, really cute book that you shared on your blog, Krista. Who did that girls trip book? Who was that?
Kathleen? Kathleen
Yeah.
is on, I think.
Oh.
Kathleen, are you there,
Oh,
Kathleen?
yeah.
Yeah.
And she did a paper on every background of hers, and it was so cute. I was like, what am I even doing keeping white pages? Maybe I need to switch that up. Because I just like a white crisp background, but then I'll switch it to black sometimes if it's like a night page. It just seems to fit better. But I really loved hers. So I don't know. Thinking about it.
Her whole book was amazing.
I know. I couldn't believe it. And it's so many pages and so much accomplished. Like, it's such an accomplishment what she did.
She says, "Aw, thanks, blush."
Aw.
Oops, I switched my phone on accident. Okay, so I have a question. Maybe you guys can give me your opinion. See this kid's head right here? It's driving me bonkers. I'm thinking about either blurring it out, this kid that's not my kid. I'm thinking about either blurring it out or down to have this teacup over his face. That kind of looks dumb, huh? Should I blur
Oh,
it out?
I thought it was, I didn't even know, I mean, I thought that was a great way to do that.
I would totally put the teacup over his head.
I would do the teacup.
Yeah.
Less work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Easy to grab
because
sometimes.
Blur is easy. I can just use the blur tool, but maybe I'll try both. Let's try both. Move them over. I'll duplicate this layer.
I put stuff over photos all the time. I'm like, I'm not going to edit that. I'm just going to...
Cover it up.
Yep.
Mistake up here. See, that's not bad. That's actually kind of pretty. Maybe I'll do it up here too.
I hear Tracy suggested maybe a piece of pattern paper diagonally across that corner. Like maybe make it as a
Oh,
photo
like a little
corner.
photo corner. Good idea. Okay, let's try
Nice.
Paper and then
because I kind of like my teacup on my journaling page. So.
And Kat mentioned, or maybe an action that blurs it out and then you can blur out the edges. I think Valerie Wibbins had some really good actions where it like blurred out the edges and then the center was, but that is more work.
Well, I'm just using my blur tool right now, and it's actually looking really pretty. So maybe I'm going to zoom in so you guys can maybe see better what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll make you bigger too.
So I'm just using this blur tool. I'm just kind of brushing over, and I duplicated my layer so that this isn't permanent if I decide I don't like it. Anybody that's not related to me, you get blurred.
You get blurred.
I did this on a castle photo because castle photos are hard to get when it's not just like a million people in the background. And I had this really cute photo of me and Josh and Scarlett, I think, when she was little. And I did this like action, or I used the motion blur filter in Photoshop, and it actually turned out really pretty. Let me see if I can find it real quick. See how fast I am. This is good. If it takes too long, I'll stop doing whatever. Oh, you know what? I think I just have to think about what year that was. Let's see. Maybe it's not worth hunting it down.
Well, while you're thinking about that and finding that picture, I'm going to go ahead. I've got another thing I have to run over and do. So I'm going to go ahead and say bye. Thanks for coming and hanging out, everybody. Have fun.
Thanks so much for coming,
Thank
Courtney.
you for hanging with us, Courtney. I appreciate it.
No,
And I will
Yes.
see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. We'll do this again.
Thanks, dear. Have fun
Have a great
tonight.
day.
Thank
All right, bye.
So this one right here is what I was talking about. So I had
Oh,
that's
like
a great way to do
yeah.
that.
I had
Yeah.
all these people that were walking right behind, but it's so cute. So I just I duplicated my layer. Let's see, I still saved my layer. Oh yeah, you can see. So here's my regular photo, and then I duplicated it and motion blurred it, and then I just erased out our family.
Well, and
That
this
is a
way it really
perfect
brings it
idea.
to the subject too. Like it really focuses on not even the castle because, just you
I
guys.
know I did have to blur the castle a little bit, but I thought it was still kind of pretty because you could still sort of see it.
Yeah.
And then the castle, you could still see the castle in this one because there wasn't people in that one. This is from our last anniversary.
Oh,
2
was
years
it
ago.
that long
How
ago?
awesome.
Oh, that one was one of my favorites too.
I love that one. It's so classic. So see, this is me. I cut out of it.
Yeah.
So that's
I gotcha.
how it works. Okay. Anyway, back to my page.
I love that page of yours.
Thanks. Okay.
That is a great idea. Okay, I'm putting that in my little store of information, and I will be using that technique
Looking at
because
those
I am
photos
supremely lazy.
seem really soft, so I'm bumping up the saturation on them a tiny bit. Looking at those photos, I realized these are a little bit muted, which is good, but I like bright. I like bright and high contrast all the time, so that's just what I like.
Yeah, that helps a lot for the pictures to they must have different light sources. Light.
Right?
Different cameras, different everything.
Yeah. And I always feel that photo editing, at least for me, photo editing I think takes, like a page can take me about a half hour to do, but like the photo editing probably takes me an hour after, so it's way longer just to get the photos edited, all the look.
Yeah, some need more work than others. Like this one right here that I'm working on of my mom. So this is how it started. Let's see if I can find it. Because it's hard to take photos on the teacups. You're like going all ski with this and so this is how it started.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
So it took some work
Much,
to bump it up. It was
much
really dark.
nicer.
It was very, very dark.
Yeah, you did great on that.
Levels, that's the trick. Using levels. If you're not using like Lightroom or something like that, I use levels. Somebody taught me that once. Like if you might look at the photo and think like, oh, it's a lost cause. That's way too dark. I can't even use it without making it super grainy or whatever. But levels, that's the key.
The key.
Which the shortcut is Command L for levels. I don't really know how to get to. Let's see, how do you get to levels? Adjustments. Yeah, image adjustments.
Yeah, I always use the shortcuts too.
So I'm like, I don't know how to get there.
And here, Kat mentioned she's just learned so much in the last 2 days. She just had the Project Life app, ACDC, and determined to learn shortcuts in Photoshop CC.
Oh, it's so handy once you learn the shortcuts. I used to have a little sheet printed off, but now it's just habit. So.
Well, my favorite shortcuts, I would say, is like the transform shortcut. I'm on a Windows, so it's just Control T is for transform. The copy shortcut is Control J. I mean, those two I use a ton. Now, Cheryl, we lost you on the screen. Did we lose
I
you on
need to
purpose?
pull her. I was just letting her show her her editing part. So let me pull Britt back over. There we go. No, I was not hiding on purpose. I just didn't go back over and
Now
make
you're working
her.
on shadows.
Yes.
It always
We
brings
get.
it to life when you start doing that.
Yeah, and I'm almost done here. So,
You do your shadows last?
well, I add the style, but I do the custom shadows at the end.
Tweak it all and make it look better.
Yeah.
I have to shadow as I go. But yeah, I do tweak at the end a little, but I have to shadow as I go. Otherwise, I end up, I'm like, why do I hate this page? And I'm like, oh, it's because there's not shadows on it yet.
Yes.
Once I start shadows, I'm like, okay, it's looking better now.
And I don't shadow. I shadow everything, but I don't custom shadow everything.
Okay, Cheryl, Kim asked, she's been looking into ACDC, but all her scrapbooking stuff is on EHDs. Does it still work with that?
Yes. Because that's where all my stuff is right now, and I'm using it without a problem. Of course, the EHD, I usually keep it plugged in all the time. So you may have some issues. You might want to Google about using ACDC with a portable EHD. Should it shouldn't give you a problem, but I can't vouch for that personally.
And Britt, what font are you using today? Is that the P. Kristen?
Yep. Kristen is spelled with a CH. CHRIST.
So Kat, that is the one that Courtney posted in the link for.
My favorite.
Tiffany asked about QR codes. Tiffany, I don't know if you were here just a short time ago. She did post above the tutorial for Britt's. Here, I'll see if I can post it again. Britt has a really good one and a freebie for to add to your layouts that says, watch this.
Cute.
And then, yeah, you can use your, I don't know if you can use iCloud or what cloud you have, but I know that you can use Dropbox instead of YouTube, so you might have to check with your cloud service. I don't know what one you're mentioning, but.
Yeah, I'm probably going to switch to Dropbox. I'm just by habit. I have them on YouTube, but I should probably.
I think a change for anything, I just get worried about it. Like I've been using the YouTube forever, and it's just like I got my workflow down, and then
Yep.
I think it was Steph who mentioned you could use it in Dropbox, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like it's just different. I don't want it to fail me, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I always get these comments from people about QR codes like, well, in 100 years or whatever, it's not going to work. That's not going to be a thing. And I'm like, well, that doesn't matter to me too much. Like, but, as far as posterity goes, like if my great grandma had this like little funny thing on the page and I knew what it used to be and how it used to work, that's still pretty cool. Like just because I can't see the video 100 years from now by scanning it onto YouTube, that's okay with me. Like it works.
Yeah.
It works. It's gonna work for a long time. That it's good enough.
Well, and the reason why I think QR codes are also so cool is it's like you're joining both of those memories, like it's there on the page, so now you can see, oh, you want to watch this exact moment that we have a video of. It's just another way to like document and have this video seen.
For sure. It like makes your page come to life.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I love them. I think you and I use them a lot. I don't know.
I do, especially on my like daily, just like day-to-day life ones. There's really one on every page, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it has made me take more photos or take more videos in my just day-to-day life because they're so much fun. And I've noticed I love seeing the videos of my kids and special. I'm just doing dumb little tweaks now. I think I'm pretty much done. I'm really just messing around as we.
Yeah, I'm just saving my layout at this point. And that's where we did it. It's under an hour. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. You run this section real quick and save this before I forget.
What action are you running? I'm gonna look over at you. See what you're doing here.
Oh, the save for web. I was just gonna
Oh, you do
save
that.
my left and right sides.
Kathleen, do you want to share your gallery account? Maybe people are just chatting right now about Kathleen's album. They just looked at
Oh,
it,
nice.
and it was a little bit of a tease, so they wanted to see more.
It's so
Her
cute.
album is amazing. It's amazing. And the best part is done in
Yes,
hand.
and seeing that picture of the cover done and it's sitting there and it's finished, I'm like, oh, that's the feel. Like, that's what you want. Like, that, having your book in your hands is such a good feeling. It's so satisfying.
Seeing your kids look through them or your husband look through them when it's done, yeah. We were just looking through books this morning. Speaking of which, that was funny. When my kids were trying to convince me I needed to go back to Disneyland, that's what we were doing.
That's a good way to convince you. That's awesome.
Oh, there we go. Oh, this is taking forever.
It's a big layout. Lots of goodness on there. So, Cheryl, do you ever rasterize your layers, or do you save everything as smart objects in there? Because it would affect the file size, right?
Yeah, I just I keep my PSD files layered, and the reason why I do that,
No, I mean
I
like when you bring in images, they come in as smart objects into
right.
Photoshop. And then do you even, not to flatten them, but just do you make the individual elements? Do you rasterize those individual elements before you save them?
No.
Just curious. Okay.
Yeah, no, I just
Okay,
do my save for web action and then just make sure it's under a certain size and under 250 usually for saving for web. But as far as my, PSD, I don't do any changes.
Do anything. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing this so that I can share.
Okay, a couple people are starting to go, so I don't know if we want to give out
Yeah, I'm
prizes.
getting the prize ready.
And it's a good one. We had a lot of fun doing these.
So
I think there'll be more, won't there, Britt?
Yep.
I think we had fun.
Yeah, me too.